How's it been?
It's just grief and gratitude, man, constantly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think I've been talking about it a lot recently, like the whole idea of just simultaneously holding grief and gratitude, but it's because like throughout my whole career, I was resistant to anything that wasn't good and positive and happy and something that was worth celebrating. Because I was like, nah, this shit's got to be broken.
Yeah.
Like, why am I still having to grieve shit?
Right.
You know? And then I'm like, oh, okay, that is just life. Like, grow up. You know what I mean? There was a bit of a maturation process that had to occur to like realize, okay, there's always going to be shit to grieve and there's always going to be shit to be grateful for. And sitting there trying to like, you know, plug the holes on the boat constantly because you feel like there shouldn't be holes on the boat. It's like, nah, it's just like, it just comes with it. So now I was telling you earlier, like just trying to increase my capacity to handle grief and gratitude, just become more robust so I can hold it instead of freaking out.
Was there a specific event that kind of triggered this grief?
I feel like there was several that I ignored. And then funny enough, man, my childhood dog dying.
No, I remember. I saw like, you talk about that.
It's so strange how something you think isn't going to be that monumental sort of is the catalyst for immense reflection and a tidal wave of grief because you start realizing all the chapters of your life that you haven't said goodbye to.
Yeah.
You know, and so it just opened up all the shit that like, you know, just all the change that had happened in my life that I just completely ignored because just running a mile a minute. And it was just so fucking heavy where I was like, damn, why am I sad? So sad about this and that. It's like, well, because you've been suppressing and avoiding all this shit. And I think, you know, as men, we get like very conditioned to suppress and avoid any sort of negative emotion because it's viewed as strong and, you know, that whole cliche thing. But
yeah, also the like, I don't got time for that right now. I got to make it to here. I got to get this done. And I got to, you know, I can't be sad. I got this to do and accomplish. And it's like, there really is never that time. Like,
there's never a good time to sit and.
No.
But then what I learned is once you like are suppressing all this shit for a long enough period of time, and once there's enough of it that you're suppressing, at some point it's just going to come out sideways when you don't want it to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To the wrong person.
Onto the wrong, because you didn't actually carve out any time to really sit with that and acknowledge it.
It was interesting. There was this Buddhist poet named Gary Snyder that I interviewed once who's like Pulitzer Prize winning he's probably the greatest writer alive. And he was talking about in the Vietnam War, how a lot of the United States soldiers came back and they were super fucked up because they never had like any kind of ritual to process the trauma. Whereas the Native American soldiers, they had these like certain like ancestral rituals that they would put the soldiers back like when they returned from combat, and they had like, you know, according to him, like way less kind of psychic disorder in their lives afterwards.
Because there was that segue.
Yeah. Well, we've lost all the rituals in life in general, like of mourning and process, and I think like, you know, there's like. We developed that over thousands of years, and then
integrity. It's like when somebody dies, it instantly turns into a cloud thing. But the way like I grew up, that was never like a thing. Cloud and a death, you know what I mean? So it's like everything kind of goes to waste.
Yeah,
it's true.
And then you started going to therapy. I read on one of your videos. Yeah.
You know, like my guy, he's not even a licensed therapist, you know?
Those are the best ones. Yeah. That's my mom. Shout out to Z.
So you're not getting like therapized to death. No.
You're not paying for that degree.
No, but it's like, I don't know, man. I just think having a mentor is so key.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had a fucking like just older guy that was a mentor early on in my career. Granted, I probably wouldn't have listened. But just having somebody there to sort of guide you and help you work through what's going on internally.
Yeah.
You know? Because again, there was so much happening internally at the beginning of my career, and I mean my whole life, but you know, you're just like, I don't have the bandwidth for this. Like, I gotta keep shit pushing. And you kind of like find pride in that. Like, like I don't gotta deal with this shit.
You had a line in a Momentum on Chomp, and you were like, if I'm taking y'all advice, then I'm making y'all's mistakes.
Right.
So it's kind of back to that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's advice is a funny thing, man. I feel like people don't want truth. They want self-validation, you know? Because if they accept the advice, that means they have to admit that maybe they were wrong. And maybe their past decisions were suboptimal. And maybe somebody else saw a blind spot that you didn't see. So instead, you're going to deploy all these defenses like nitpicking and semantic objections and exceptions to the rule and all this bullshit like anecdotal counters. Not because you're interested in accuracy, but because you're trying to preserve your ego.
Right.
You know? But it's like, okay, so you know everything except your role and why nothing's working. Because accountability is the only answer you seem to not have. Yeah. But you know everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get negative feedback, sometimes it triggers like an avalanche of like kind of criticism of yourself, where then you lose that. Like, you know what I mean? You have to have such confidence in yourself to be able to take advice.
It's a tough balance of being like, this is my vision, I believe in it, but still being not allowing yourself to be so rigid that you can't be open to maybe making a detour and maybe, switching
taking a
some
compromise.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, not even compromise, just like, hey, what you're doing is great, but have you ever considered like the possibility of doing it like this? And you can still get to your vision, but maybe it can, you know what I mean? But when you're so hell bent on it's my way or no way, good luck.
Well, I think you also were navigating a path that didn't really exist before.
Yeah, there's a lot of that too. So there wasn't much early on that I was even open to receiving advice-wise.